Hey guys, welcome back to Hot Fest. I'm Hannah.
I'm Hannah.
And I'm Hannah.
Not Hannah's. We have a really fun episode for you guys today. There's some serious topics, but also some fun stuff that we're going to talk about.
Some fun stuff.
So let's talk about Jasmina Saavedra, shall we? I'm sure all of you have seen this on YouTube. She is running for Congress, the 44th district in California. She taped herself, actually, at the Denny's in Los Angeles, accosting a transgender person for being in her restroom.
Well, it wasn't even her restroom. It was the restroom at the Denny's, and
her words.
And she basically
in the ladies' room
started harassing this transgender woman.
Right. Awful. It's so stupid. If you go to her website, it's...
not that we're endorsing it, first of all.
We're not
endorsing her website.
But I would like for people to go to that website, because if you go to voteforjazz.com, you'll actually see how stupid it is. She supports Trump. She supports building of the wall. She's a heavy Second Amendment supporter. But it's ridiculous. Why do we keep coming up on these...
Well, I think that what she's doing is she's just kind of piggybacking on the whole thing that Trump's campaign was about.
But even Caitlyn Jenner went to one of his hotels and used the restroom, and he's like, whatever.
But the thing with Trump is, first off, Caitlyn Jenner voted for Trump. Second off, I don't think Trump actually cares about anything or anyone. He goes back and forth a lot. He flip-flops on everything. He doesn't really believe in anything, so...
Yeah. I think what's more interesting about this whole concept of Jasmina is where you just see a ton of these Uncle Tom mother from every background. I say, like, Sarah Huckabee up there is an Uncle Tom for women. This is an Uncle Tom for a Latina and Latinos in general and immigrants. She's an immigrant from Nicaragua. You know, I mean, there's so many
the
people.
Jewish attorney in New York.
Right. Speaking
what
of...
was his name?
Aaron Schlossberg.
Yes, Schlossberg.
Yeah. Yeah, for those of you who don't know who Aaron Schlossberg is...
There's a slew of videos you can go check out. Google it. There's a slew of videos you can check out. He is a hateful human being.
Right. He was in a restaurant in New York.
Right.
And he got upset because the customer in front of him was ordering in Spanish. And then the person who was at the counter responded in Spanish. They were having a Spanish conversation, and he got really upset and then went on a rant. Let's actually look at the video.
So your staff is speaking Spanish to customers when they should be speaking English.
Very violent. I mean, sometimes they do.
Every person I listen to, he spoke it, she's speaking it, is America.
Funny thing about this, which
There's nothing
he's
funny
not
about it.
funny. He's not funny. I'm not saying that anything that he did was funny. No. But the funny thing is that if you go on his LinkedIn, this guy speaks a bunch of different languages, including Spanish. So it's like, why is it that it's okay for you to speak Spanish, but other people it's not? And also, what are you doing in New York? New York is a melting pot of so many different cultures and people and languages and immigrants. If you're gonna be there, you have to be cool with everyone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I that is why I feel like this speaks to the fundamental truth that most white Americans are uneducated. And I'll say most Americans in general, because there are so many people of color who go through our school system, because our school system really does not tell the truth about our history and how our wealth as a nation was made. And obviously it was made in detail by slavery on the backs of slaves and immigrants and indentured servants and free labor. And
we're all immigrants.
Right. And so essentially the whole thing that made our country wealthy are these people and these immigrants coming in and building this nation, essentially. They continue to be the glue of this nation, as we know that so many of them hold jobs that nobody in their right mind nowadays would do, but they do because they're just hard workers and they want to be in a place where they eventually can have more opportunities.
And support for their families, and,
right.
And they don't have the educational background or the language to get higher paying jobs. It's just a matter of fact. It is what it is. And these people are coming from other countries with next to nothing, and they're just trying to support their families.
But you know what I will say is, just because you have an education doesn't mean you're smart.
Right, and he was a lawyer.
He's
so
a lawyer.
He's a lawyer.
He is a lawyer.
He is a lawyer, and
soon to be was maybe. People are calling for his disbarment, which I'm not sure if that's going to happen.
He's not going to get disbarred.
I'm not sure if he should.
He's probably not going to get any more work. It's his personal opinion. It happened outside of the confines of working as an attorney. He didn't cross any lines there, I don't think.
We live in this country where, we have the First Amendment. You can say whatever it is that you want to say. But there are consequences. No, there are consequences. Especially him. He got kicked out of his office space. I'm sure nobody's going to want to rent him, especially in New York City. So there are consequences.
Right, they don't want the trouble that comes with somebody who is hated by half of the United States right now.
The mayor
and is being followed around. Well, the guy is being followed around by paparazzi, by all
different
kinds of
news
people.
Sources.
Yeah, news sources that are like.
And he won't say anything.
No,
he covers himself with an
anyone.
umbrella because he's scared.
Which is the polar opposite of how he was acting.
Right.
Before.
Where's your mouth now? I'll show you where to use your mouth.
As you know, the primary elections are coming up June 5th for all of our California residents. If you haven't registered to vote, please do so. And you actually have an important thing to say about education.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, I used to be a school teacher, so it kind of it affects me a lot. One of my friends is going to be on the ballot in the primaries for the head of the school board. And this is a really, really important race, I feel, because as a person who is interested in education and how educated our young people are, Mary Navarro is a person who used to be a school teacher and then an assistant principal and then a superintendent. And so she's really on all ends of the spectrum, have been able to take kids and programs and scholastic programs through to their maximum potential and goals. She's a very, very progressive person, especially for District 5 in Orange County, which is where Laguna Beach is, and a lot of progressive and liberal people in Laguna Beach. There's also a lot of Orange County conservatives around it. And so she's all for maintaining the community in general, whereas her opponent, who shall remain nameless for me, is one of those really, really wealthy, has a lot of Orange County money backing her up, and is one of the pray the gay away people, which I don't think is going to go over too well in the Laguna Beach community, but it could go over really, really well in a lot of the other districts. So this is going to be a very, very important race for our children to really have better opportunities of better ideas of education.
Right.
And that's really important too, because with all the mass shootings that keep happening, like the one that happened today, with the hate crimes that keep happening, I mean, everything just keeps escalating. And it's really important that we take that step forward to put people in office that are looking out for our children and looking out for their education, and to make sure that we're raising people in this society that are going to do good things for everybody, that aren't out there to fearmonger and hate and
or even
hurt
just look
other
over,
people.
or even just look after their own financial well-being and at the expense of everyone else's civil rights and safeties.
Right. Well, there was 10 dead today in Santa Fe. 10 wounded.
Yes.
And I think that this keeps happening. You were saying that the statistics are showing
school shooting. That there's a mass shooting once a week since the Parkland School shooting in 3 months ago.
It's really sad. We do want to offer our condolences to the families and the parents in Santa Fe, because it's awful. I mean, I don't know what the answer is. I wish I had a solution, but I think that what's happening now isn't working. So let's change it. Let's do something.
It's easy to say that, but the big question and the big elephant in the room is what's going to change it, And that's what we kind of have to start figuring out. And we have to take the first step to go and cast our ballot, become active members in society, and not just be passive and let this stuff keep happening and just be like, okay, well, it's not affecting me, so why do I care?
Right. Right.
Because eventually it's going to affect you.
Oh, eventually it does affect
yeah.
you. I mean, I remember when this started back when we were in school, and we heard of Columbine and those high school kids getting attacked and brutally murdered by those high school kids.
And that was unheard of back
That was
then.
completely, yeah.
Now it's like the norm.
And now
why
it
is this
happens
happening?
regularly. And
Right.
so I think the saddest part is you see a lot of the school, these kids, the Parkland School kids from Florida, today they were just enjoying their last day of high school for the year, and some of them for the rest of their lives, and they were just they were feeling good, and even though they were still grieving about what happened 3 months ago and trying to build some type of composure to keep going with their lives, as a lot of them have done an amazing job so far, then this has to happen. And so they all kind of gathered around and watched the news and in the classrooms and things like that, and it really, the politicians told them that this can't happen again, this won't happen again, and
it keeps happening.
This isn't happening in other countries. This isn't happening in Japan. This isn't happening in Canada. So obviously we're doing something wrong. There are people in this world, in this country, of course, we're talking about America, that have a lot of issues. I mean, there's mental illness hidden behind each one of these situations. You've got to identify it and then treat it. And
you can't be afraid. You can't be afraid to open your mouth and say something, because if you, it's just like, I mean, what is it? See something, say something.
Right.
I mean, it's like the golden rule. I mean, and I know that people are afraid to say something, or they don't want to get involved, or they don't want to put themselves in jeopardy, but a lot of times when one person steps up, other people also feel emboldened to step up as well and join them and do what's right. So
I think there's a lot of approaches that everybody can take in order to start the wave of change. There's so many approaches. The first step that everyone needs to do in today's day and age, there is not one reason for people to be ignorant. There's not one reason for people to, with today's mass information just coming at you through every type of media
Sources
ever imaginable, you can look up and research any thing you want to. It's right at your fingertips, and I still don't understand these people who just continue to prize their own personal experience and their opinions over actual facts and research of things that are happening in this country, in addition to their personal experience and how that coincides. But it gives you a more of a worldwide perspective. So I think that, or global perspective, I think that the biggest thing that we have to start with is informing yourself. Do not be an ignorant. Don't talk to people and open your mouth if you are absolutely clueless about a situation. If you have no idea what the you're talking about, don't talk to people.
Shut up.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do research, don't vote. Don't go to a voter booth and just cast a vote wherever.
Because somebody sounded good.
I mean,
Do you read? Is the point. Go out there and read. Inform yourself. That's exactly what you need to do.
So segueing out of all of the negative news and all the bad things that are happening right now, I'd like to give you guys a little bit of good news. Our artist of the week is Calvin Lai. He's a full-time oil painter in San Francisco. His work has been shown nationally in galleries, group exhibitions, and juried shows. So check out his work.
Calvin Lai's art is a mixture of medicine, meditation, and personal growth. He found early on that drawing was something he loved, and to make a picture appear lifelike became his goal. Constantly drawing, his work began to breathe, and his fascination with value and perspective led Calvin to become a student of realism. In 2008, he enrolled in the Academy of Art for Illustration, but began painting instead. He found that he preferred the fine arts over commercial illustration, and now works as a full-time San Francisco oil painter. Calvin's work has appeared in national and international publications in addition to gallery showcases. Throughout his career, Calvin has expanded his focus from figurative and portraiture to encompass a variety of subjects from still life to San Francisco cityscape. An artist without creative borders, Calvin Lai is driven to capture everything around him through paints, brushes, and determination.
So that was some of Calvin's amazing pieces. He's also an amazing clarinet player. He tours with a lot of bands, and back in the day when I was in San Francisco, I used to see him at Revolution Cafe all the time. He'd be performing with a Balkan band, and it was amazing. So thank you, Calvin, for providing your art. Please check out his work in the description below. And speaking of multi-talented,
one of my friends, Trevor Steins, he's an actor, model. He does a lot of different things. He's involved in a project right now. You might know him as Jason Blossom on the series Riverdale. He's part of a really cool project that I'd like to plug. Director Brendan Dowd has started this project. It's about the old classic film noir, and it's called The WATCHDOG. And there's different ways to donate to this project, but what's really cool is that it's not a typical fundraiser. You can actually be part of it if you donate. You can be a producer, you can be an executive producer, depending on the amount that you donate. And I think that's actually pretty fun. So that's gonna be coming up in a short time, and the links are below if you'd like to donate. And here's a little bit about the show right now.
Hi, I'm Brendan Dowd, and I'm here to talk to you about WATCHDOG. So WATCHDOG is the new film noir that we're filming in Seattle at the end of May. It's an inversion of the typical tropes that make film noir great. For example, in film noir, the protagonist is usually a male detective who is cynical and world-weary, but ultimately he's romantic and idealistic and has a very strong moral compass. It also features the infamous femme fatale, the dangerous woman, the seductress, the distractor. So in WATCHDOG, we kind of switch those roles. The protagonist is a female investigative journalist. She has very questionable morality. She ultimately wants to be good, but she has a hard time actually doing that. The femme fatale in this case is a man who is a dream to look at. So she's kind of distracted and sidelined by him. So we have a great group of people both in front of the camera and behind it. A very diverse slice of life of Seattle's film community. I'm excited to work with all of them. Ultimately, I think this is a great project for everyone involved, and not only to watch it, but to work on it. It gives us opportunities to grow and challenge ourselves, to kind of put out the best product that we can, and to give the viewer, to give you the best visual experience that we can, something that you'll talk about and be excited to see and share with your friends. So I think it's a really great project to get behind, and I hope you'll check out our fundraiser.
so that seems like it's going to be an interesting piece they're coming up
I think
with
it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, speaking of interesting, his mouth was really interesting to me. Really nice.
Brendan, Match.com/ I don't even know what I don't have
Oh
a
my
Match.com
God, you guys.
profile.
Oh, Jesus.
I know. I don't have a Match.com.
Still on the match.
I don't have a Match.com profile. I don't know why I keep saying that.
Can somebody just
Pull up
take
that Grindr,
Andy out
honey.
on a date?
I've
Come
been on
for
dates.
once.
That's not the point.
Oh, dear.
Just somebody put a ring on it already, because I'm
cock
sick of
ring.
listening to this.
Oh, yes.
For one.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Somebody put a cock ring on
Oh,
it.
Jesus.
God, you guys.
Don't try to push the gay agenda.
Right, yeah. We wouldn't want to do that. Bro, we're super straight, bro.
But speaking of our commenters, the ones that we agree and don't agree with, either way, we welcome all of it, and we want to thank you guys for commenting. And if there's stuff that you want to, have us talk about, just...
In the meantime, I'm so happy I was here today. I missed you guys so much.
Oh, miss you too. It's weird not having you here.
Aw,
It's
thanks.
like
know.
a child that goes away on vacation.
I know. I came right out of your loins, didn't I? Yeah.
You came in. No.
I had a dream
No,
one
you're
time.
not.
I had a dream one time that I gave birth, and I swear to God, I woke
Where
up.
did it come out of?
I have no idea. But it literally, I think I had I don't know how it happened.
I
Did
want
you
to know
just-
where it
But
came
I
out.
just remember being in a hospital bed.
Maybe it was just you sleepwalking and you made a...
Oh gosh.
Wow.
Let's hope not. Anyways, I haven't been around because I've been competing so much.
Yes.
Right.
And it's been like a crazy, crazy wild ride, but it's been awesome. We've been competing every week, basically, so we can get ready for our big competition this coming Monday, which we leave for Blackpool, England, which is super exciting. So we were just in Portland last weekend, which Portland's an awesome city. For anybody who doesn't know, I actually, one of my favorite things I did there was visit a vegan strip club. So yeah,
What does that even mean?
Hashtag only in Portland.
What is it? What's a
means-
vegan strip club?
It means
But it's so Portland appropriate.
I know. I know. It means the
'Cause it's
sausage
weird.
was meatless.
Oh my God.
Just kidding. Anyways, no, it was super cool. But we got first, which was really, really good, and it kind of got us prepared to be hyped up in the mindset for us to just attack overseas. So
I'm really interested in your dancing, but what the is a vegan strip? I need to know.
I don't know. We were just kind of like.
Do all the
I don't
dancers
wanna- I
only
don't
they're
think I
vegans?
No, I don't know what it was. I mean, I think it was
Maybe.
just. Well,
you have
it
to be vegan to.
Are they like
to go in
breaking
the
their
club.
bone? Like
Honestly, I have no idea what it was.
I feel like
but
they must be so brittle,
It seemed
like,
like
on the
a
pole.
normal strip club to
Eat
me
a
when we went.
hamburger.
It seemed like a normal strip club to me when we
Vegans
went,
aren't.
but it was
Well,
like,
I'm sure they get their calcium in other ways and their iron and all that good stuff.
yeah.
well, if you need protein, vegan strip pole dancers. Info.
But what does that even mean?
Well, they know what it means. Info at hotfusshow.com.
I
Again, I think Andy is just looking for.
I think that clip is going to be on his Match.com.
Yes.
So
profile.
why am I so thirsty right now?
You are
I don't know.
thirsting,
Why?
honey. You are thirsting.
Jesus.
Big ups to Portland. Was great.
It's really green there, by the way.
Oh, so lush.
Yeah.
So lush.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We had a great time talking about all of the different topics that we had to discuss today.
The hard
We-
stuff and the fun stuff.
Absolutely. We welcome your comments. If you have anything to say, please just post it down below. Our artist of the week is going to be right down below, including Trevor Steins and...
Calvin Lai.
So, click.
So thanks again for joining us on this episode of Hot Fuss. I'm Hannah.
I'm Hannah.
We're all Hannah.
Okay. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Till
Thanks,
next time.
guys.
Love
Bye.
you.
Next time.
Bye.